My first video in this two-part series discusses why DrDisRespect should sue Cody Connors for defamation, but this video is going to show you the other side of that. Why Doc may not want to sue, and the legal strategy around the Twitch whispers being introduced in court. They'd be public record, guys. If you haven't seen the first video, check that out before going on to this one, because we go through every element Doc needs to prove in court to win. Can the Doc introduce the whispers as evidence, or could Cody do that, right? It's a touchy subject, okay? They might not have to be introduced at all for this claim. You see, the legal issue here is whether or not the statement is true that Doc was banned because he was caught sexting a minor. The legal strategy for Doc would be to try to prove that the statement is untrue without exposing the whispers, because then the whispers would become public record and they could be really embarrassing. Imagine if Doc is commenting on other streamers, making dirty jokes about someone else, or maybe even making fun of his fans, or doing something that would be inappropriate, okay? That's something that's inappropriate, and he wouldn't want to come out. Doc's lawyers would argue that the reports from Twitch and Twitch's internal investigation would show that the ban had nothing to do with sexting a minor. Therefore, Cody's statement is false. You guys following so far? Cody's strategy would be to try introducing the whispers into evidence, not even as a defense, but just to put them into the public record and embarrass the Doc. This wouldn't really be a legal strategy, but more of like a real world strategy, because he'd be threatening the Doc in a way so he could get the Doc to back off filing a lawsuit. So Doc's lawyers, in anticipation of this, would make a motion in limine, okay? They would move to exclude the whispers as irrelevant before the trial even starts, before the jury's even there. In a trial, motion in limine means you want to exclude evidence from being shown to the jury for legal reasons, okay? So maybe Doc's lawyers would do that motion first, and depending on how the judge rules, they'll move on in the lawsuit. If the judge includes the whispers, they might drop the lawsuit. If the judge excludes the whispers and says they're not relevant, they're not coming before the jury, they're not going into public record, then maybe it's fair game to go forward. Okay, if that's the whispers in the trial, how do we know whether or not Doc sexted a minor? And how can Doc prove it without the whispers? In my previous videos, we talk about circumstantial evidence, all right? And how it could be more powerful than direct evidence. Direct evidence is someone says, I saw something. Circumstantial evidence is all the surrounding evidence that maybe discredit what that person said. Here, the circumstantial evidence is that Doc didn't get charged, and that Doc got paid by Twitch, which means their termination of contract was not justifiable. If Doc was caught sexting a minor, actually, the termination of the contract would be justifiable and Twitch wouldn't pay a dime. But now we have more direct evidence from the Doc himself. In that discovery phase where they exchanged the evidence, he and his lawyers saw all the whispers. They saw all the reports of what happened when that ex-partner manager guy told the Twitch user to report Doc. They even saw that the supposed victim actually refused to report Doc because he or she didn't feel offended or that anything was even wrong. In the reports, Doc saw that Twitch's trust and safety team reviewed the whispers and found nothing wrong. Nothing. They took no action. Not that they didn't find anything illegal, they found nothing wrong, meaning nothing even violated the terms of service on Twitch. The TOS are way more strict than the law. Guys, that's a pretty big deal. I mean, it's pretty serious. How are we, the public, gonna say anything other than that when we don't even have the whispers? Twitch had a trained team review the whispers, and believe me, if they wanted to nuke Doc's 8-figure contract, they would have had him dead to rights. I mean, if he used their platform to illegally elicit sex from an underage user, they'd have him dead to rights. They'd just cut him and no problem. But even at that level, they found no issues and no escalation to the law enforcement team. Twitch's employees admitted internally to each other that the messages did not constitute sexting or warrant any kind of child sex abuse material charge, all right? How do we know that? Discovery, baby. Guys, keep in mind, these companies are gonna err on the side of caution. They do not want any of that junk going on their platform with children, okay? The trust and safety investigation didn't say, let's just suspend him, or give him a warning. They said, no issues. No wrongdoing, no further action necessary. So to all of you Twitter users, commenters, haters, do you all think you know better than the trust and safety team who actually read all the whispers? You don't have to be a fan of the Doc, that's fine, but you gotta be a fan of thinking logically before you speak, right? I mean, some of you may say that the trust and safety team got it wrong. I can kind of get that, but really? What about Twitch's lawyers then? What about the judge who oversaw the arbitration? All of those people saw all the whispers. And you're saying they got it all wrong and somehow made Twitch pay likely millions of dollars on top of their own legal fees? Ask yourself, why do you think you're more qualified than Twitch's own hired lawyers and a judge, all of whom saw the whispers, for you to conclude with such confidence that Doc was actually sexting a minor? If you really think that, then you may want to get that checked out by a professional. Oh wait, hold on, you don't even believe that other people can be smarter than you. No, I'm not gonna calm down, okay? These people think that everyone is always on a level playing field, okay? When these lawyers and judges went through so much education, like the highest forms of education, okay? No, Twitch's lawyers aren't some low-level lawyers, okay? They're from top-tier law schools. It's my channel, man. It's my channel. Don't tell me. Okay, fine. I'll say it nicely. Jeez, holy shit. If you believe that you know better than all the people who reviewed the Doc's whispers and found nothing wrong, then I want you to know that I believe you're an idiot. You're wrong. All right, what about the second statement? He was trying to meet up with her at TwitchCon. All right, is there any truth to that? Can Cody win with a defense? Well, Doc says he wasn't trying to meet up with the minor, and the messages back and forth between the minor and the ex-partner manager who made the minor make a report reveals that he or she, the minor, never intended or met with the Doc, never intended to meet with the Doc, and they didn't want to even report it about the Doc, right? Doc would testify to that on the stand. And maybe the other user, the minor, would also be called to testify. We don't know if they would. But no one could really refute the intentions of two people given everything we see. I guess maybe if like Cody found some sort of like tickets or something where they were going to the same place. But I mean, TwitchCon is huge. I don't know. Maybe there's something, but likely not. So can Cody prove in court that his two statements were true? Can he like launch a legal defense against a defamation per se lawsuit from the Doc? No. Cody would not have a legal defense to what he did. Nice. That means Doc should totally sue, right? Right? Let me explain how reality and legality are totally different. While damages are assumed, right? Doc will have the opportunity to show actual damages he suffered, and he can show all the lost sponsorships and all the lost revenue, all right? That's likely in the 6 to 7 figure range. The lawyers might even say more. It's harm to the business, amount paid to fight all this, harm to reputation, shame. These are all really high ticket damage items due to Doc's massively high profile. The face of Twitch, the bourbon business, game company, NFL celebrity, deals with Mountain Dew, Turtle Beach, etc. And Doc also can recover punitive damages if the jury thinks Cody acted with malice, oppression, or fraud. All right? I can confidently say this case would be probably worth millions. So even if the Doc wins, do you think that Cody would ever be able to pay that money? Probably not. Cody was shilling the rumor to sell tickets to his indie band's concert, all right? Cody is what we call a judgment-proof defendant. Yeah, you can win, but you'll never be able to collect, so what's the point? Like I said in the beginning, Cody Connors is bankrupt, fiscally because he has no money to pay the damage he's done, morally because what he did was one of the lowest things a person could do, and socially because you don't get to that point of hurting other people for no reason without hating yourself and your origins, all right? This is the type of guy who kicks his dog after a hard day at work, if he works. Now you might be thinking, Doc should sue to clear his name, and I thought the same thing, but think about it a little bit more. You guys see all the idiots out there and how they think they know better than anyone else. They take a soundbite and that's it. They don't even want to think, all right? And I bet you didn't even know this. Remember Kevin Spacey and all those allegations against him? He sued for defamation and he won, okay? Meaning everything that was said was untrue. It didn't save his reputation, did it? In my mind it did, but was there news of the truth as big in the media as the news of the defamatory statements? How much good did it really do for Kevin Spacey to sue? And he spent a lot of money and a year plus working on that. Look, this series is not about supporting DrDisRespect, not at all. This series is about recognizing one thing. While every person deserves a voice, not every voice deserves an audience, okay? Cody Connors isn't special. He has people who saw him do this and they still support him. What do you think those people are like? There are so many nasty people out there. We just gotta learn as a community to stop jumping on the bandwagon when any random person says a crazy allegation against someone. We need to think for ourselves and block out the voices that honestly don't deserve to be heard. Look, am I off base here? Honestly, tell me guys, leave a comment. I respond to all the comments, and if you like what I'm saying, hit the like button. It really helps me. If you want to know what part 1 was like and you skipped it, click the video on the top here. And if you just want to see more of these sunglasses, click the video on the bottom.